It's Thursday, it's Heresy Thursday, and these might be my favourite beakies so far, and the shoulder pads are good. Before we jump in, this video is sponsored by the Magnet Baron. We'll hear more from them later. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what does "it's heresy" even mean? And the answer to that question is, I have absolutely no idea. I said it was a stupid thing to say, but then I was too late and I didn't want to do a different intro, so you're just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, this time round, it's Word Bearers who are getting some attention, and they've got, I think, the best beaky looking beakies that have beakied so far. This is just nonsense, isn't it, this video? What is even happening? Now, we had a little discussion a while ago about the fact that quite a few of the Mark 6 helmets are in fact nothing to do with beakies. They're just helms that look completely different to what you'd expect for this mark of armour, and that it seemed a little bit strange how some legions got to just completely ignore the standard design and do whatever they like. Legions like the Death Guard or the Dark Angels or the World Eaters just having completely different altered helmets that have got nothing to do with this particular shape at all, and how others seem to be completely locked into having this shape, which, to be honest, I kind of assumed that the Word Bearers would be locked into the beaky shape. I mean, if you look at their Mark 4 helms, the Mark 4 helms are actually pretty close to just being Mark 4, but they've got a bunch of carvings and stuff on them, not dissimilar to this. The thing is, I think this works super well. And I would suggest as well that they've got some of the best shoulder pads now. Those shoulder pads are really nice. They suit the Word Bearers really well. They've got the Colchissian rune carvings in them. They are more modified, I think it's fair to say, than quite a lot of the other ones. A lot of the others have just got the Legion symbol and that's it, whereas these have actually got a nice bit of personalisation, like engraved into the armour itself. It ties them in really well with, say, like the Ashen Circle or the Marigal Tainted Dreadnought, although I'm willing to admit that perhaps the comparison doesn't work in some ways, purely because this is painted in the old Forge World scheme, whereas the other ones are painted in like the kind of heavy metal version of it.
I'm just gonna have to stop you there. You know what the Marigal is, don't you? It's a dreadnought, innit?
Yeah, I know it's a dreadnought. What are you doing?
You know what's really good for dreadnoughts, don't you?
Well, I'm sure you're about to tell me.
Options are good for dreadnoughts. You know the best way to get options is to magnetise your dreadnoughts. And thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Magnet Baron, you can get kits designed specifically for magnetising your favourite dreadnoughts. We know the Marigal is a corrupted Contemptor dreadnought. Well, if you want one that ain't covered in weird teeth but can have every single option available, then this is the kit for you, sold by the Magnet Baron. Maybe you want a bigger, chunkier dreadnought with all the options. Well, funnily enough, the Magnet Baron's got you covered there as well. In fact, no matter what project you're working on, whatever system you're going for, whatever game you want to play, whatever model you're putting together, you can find the magnets what you need at themagnetbaron.com. Check them out using the link in the description. Thanks again to the Magnet Baron for sponsoring today's video.
Thanks for that, Barry. I mean, you could have just asked nicely to do the ad read and that would have been fine, but just talking all over me and interrupting me mid-video, that's cool too, I guess. Back to the matter at hand, I really like these. I think these are the best beaky Mark 6 helmets they've done so far. They've kept the shape of the helm pretty much intact, but they've made it incredibly personalised towards the Word Bearers. I like the kind of crown look that they've got with that metal decoration above the eye lenses. Some of them look more kind of like demon horn-esque. Some of them look a bit more like crowns. In fact, you've got a few plain ones. I think actually sets off the ones that aren't plain really well. There's enough variety in the carvings. I think also due to the shape of them, at a glance, they're all going to look fairly different. Like, I keep looking away and then looking back and then looking away and looking back, and there is repetition there, but I think it's done in such a way that it doesn't... It's like there's enough chaos about it, and I don't mean chaos as in like capital C chaos, I just mean general layout chaos, that I don't think it really comes across as there being as many repetitions as there are. There's only like 3 different patterns, but I keep like skimming across and adding bits of the different helmets together somehow. Might just be me, might be the fact that I need new glasses or something, but I don't know, I feel like they've done a really good job with them. The bear head is just a bear head, fine, whatever. Would have been nice to get some like carvings in the skin, maybe? That would be cool. And I do like the kind of the demonic sergeant head. Weird that that doesn't have any carvings in it. I should have liked to see a little bit of carving in that, but then again, maybe it would have been a bit too busy for the size of helmet. And you've already got the horns, you've got the extra cabling, you've got the mouth across the front, so maybe it would have been a bit too much. Also interesting that that helm, I mean, seemingly has no sort of beaky shape to it whatsoever, so clearly they're prepared to stray from that in some cases, but for the rest of them, you've just got the standard shape. But it does look good. I've actually only just noticed as well that some of these seem to have like a straight kind of arrow, angle, triangle section on either side of the beak. Others are completely missing anything on either side of the beak, and the others have got more of a curved look as well, which at the end it breaks up the shape really, really well and just makes them all just that little bit different. I think it's fair to say they've absolutely nailed these. They've really, really nailed it. Same with the shoulder pads. I love these shoulder pads. The fact that you haven't just got the Legion symbol and you've got those additional carvings on there makes a huge difference to the overall shape. Admittedly, yeah, there's a lot more to edge highlight if that's the way you're going. And to be honest, edge highlighting is something that I hate doing, but you pull it off, they're going to look really, really good. It's not too overly complex and it's not too busy, again, but it has enough there that you know what you're looking at. You're getting like condensed Word Bearer on these shoulder pads, and I think it'll break up the fact that there isn't like carvings on the armour itself. Ever since they did away with a lot of the resin torsos and stuff for the different legions, it's kind of felt like some of them could do with more customization options again. It's kind of felt occasionally like, especially like Word Bearers that are supposed to have all this scroll over the armour, that they're missing something when you see some of the promo images, but I don't get that looking at these shoulder pads, and I think it adds enough to the base model to really make them stand out. Just the addition of those two pieces, I think, has made quite a big difference to that armour. Like, I think it really has. There's also a really nice, like, it's not symmetry, obviously, because the reinforcement studs on the one shoulder pad, there aren't reinforcement studs on the other, but the fact you've got two different kind of patterns, one on one side, one on the other, I don't know, there's a very pleasing element to that I can't quite put my finger on, but I do like. Overall, super solid. Absolute 10 out of 10 on these. Lovely work. Question is, what do you think of them? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon videos, subscribe, all the stuff. Click it if you like. Don't click if you don't want to. As always, there's an affiliate link in the description to Element Games where you can use support the channel if you would like. There's also a link to the Magnet Baron. Thank you to them for sponsoring the video. I'll see you for the next one.